Welcome back to the Habit-Based Lifestyle Podcast. I am your host, Jesse Ewell, and today I want to talk to you about the habit of language. What type of language do you speak to yourself? Does the language you speak empower you? Does it move you forward? Does it motivate you? Does it push you to create more of what you actually want? Or does it disempower you? Does it hold you back? Does it cripple you? Does it keep you stuck? I can think of so many times in my life where I let my language hold me back. And if I don't pay attention to this, I still will do it today. And I won't even know it. You see, today I want to talk to you about this habit of language. People are so afraid of what other people say about them. But that's not the person who really actually matters. You see, what do you actually say about you behind closed doors when no one else is around? How many times have you ever gotten pissed off at what somebody says, someone else in this specific case says about you, yet you say the same thing about you and yourself all the time? In that internal dialogue that you speak, that language you speak to yourself, yet when that internal dialogue matches up with someone else, you all of a sudden get triggered. And that's when you really get pissed off. You get pissed off when what you say about yourself matches what someone else says about you. And that's when you really get triggered. But let's talk about disempowering language that we actually use. You see, there's 3 words that are so disempowering, and you may not have ever heard of these. Actually, I'm quite sure you have heard of these, but you may not even be aware that you even say these. The 3 words you can never say, or the 3 words that are so disempowering, are this: I don't know. How often do you say these words to yourself? How often do you tell other people these words as if you really didn't know or don't know the answer? You see, as a coach, I hear these words almost every single day. I hear these words from my clients, from potential clients that I interview. I hear these words from people even on social media. You see, these words are disempowering because as soon as you say, I don't know, the blame and everything else goes away and it pushes on somebody else. You see, the feelings that often come up in this place are feelings of a victim. This confused place that we live in of I don't know. This stressful, anxious place. This helplessness comes over. I don't know creates massive chaos. And in this place, there is nothing more confusing and there's nothing more blaming than I don't know. You see, complaining is actually a belief that's holding you back. Complaining that I don't know is actually the number one thing that's holding you back. But what is the real story to I don't know? You see, there's always a deeper meaning behind this. And it often comes out like, I don't know what to do. I don't know which way to go. I don't know what to choose. I don't know what the best answer would be. But how much time do you take to actually work on this story of I don't know? Because we say it and we get into a habit of using it when the answer doesn't come in our head. When the answer doesn't come to us, we all of a sudden just say, well, I don't know, like it's supposed to make it better. But today I want to challenge you to actually work on this story of I don't know. So let's take a look at where this first started. Who actually taught you these three words? Who actually said it was okay for you to use this? And who actually allowed you for this to be an excuse? Think about this. Where in your life or where in your world did you actually begin to use the words I don't know? Maybe you began learning these from someone else in your family. Maybe someone else in your family used to say this all the time. I don't know. Maybe it was a mom. Maybe it was a dad. Maybe it was your grandparents. Maybe it was a friend. But this is a place where you're going to have to start to begin to dig up the roots of I don't know. You see, from this place, you have to decide, is this story giving me what I really want? Is this story empowering me to get what I want? Because if it's not, it may be time for me to begin to change the story that I'm actually hearing. I want to know my next step inside of this. I want to know how to actually do this. Because these are words that begin to go against I don't know. And from this place, I get to begin to search what I really, really want. Think about this. How could you reframe the story of I don't know to actually begin to know? To actually begin to know what you actually want. So if you knew what you wanted, then you wouldn't have to say, or you wouldn't say, I don't know anymore. So one of the questions that began to come up in this place is, what's in the way of you knowing? You see, oftentimes we come up with this word of I don't know, but we never actually ask the deeper question, well, what's in the way of actually knowing? What's holding you back from knowing what to do? Think about this. What is actually holding you back from knowing what to do when you say, I don't know? And these just become deeper questions to actually unravel what's really going on. Now think about this. I don't know doesn't work. It's not something that actually works. It means we are no longer taking responsibility for anything that we choose beyond that point. And we're basically saying, like, listen, I don't know what to do, so I'm going to pass this on to somebody else. And because I'm doing that, I'm no longer taking responsibility. But think about what would work in this place for you. What would begin to work in your life is just to reframe the story, to search for the answer that empowers you to get what you actually want. You see, one of the most difficult things that you can come up with today is when you just begin to take note of the language that you use daily. How often are you saying things like, I don't know, that completely disempower you? How often are you using this in a difficult situation to just simply make a choice? So many times I hear people just say, I don't know, as their first answer. I don't know is about your 100th answer after you've done everything in your power to figure it out. But just simply begin today to start keeping track of how often you either say I don't know or you actually want to say this. Because here's what I know. Your language is the key factor when it comes to creation. And if your language is off, then it's going to be very hard for you to create. But where in your world is your language getting in the way of your creation? Think about this for a second. Where in your world is your language getting in the way of what you are actually wanting to create? Maybe it's in your body. I don't know how to work out. I don't know how to eat right. I don't know what to do. Maybe it's in your spirituality. I don't know who God is. I don't know what church to go to. I don't know how to meditate. Maybe it's in your relationships. I don't know how to talk to my wife. I don't know how to talk to my husband. I don't know how to talk to my kids. Maybe it's in your business. I don't know how to make money. I don't know how to leave my job and start a new business. But here's the real question. How would you know that? Let's just say, how would you know that? How would you find out all those things? Because that's the real answer to creation. What would it take for you to know this? What would it take for you to know? Anytime you say, I don't know, you can immediately turn it around and say, well, what would it take for me to know? What would it take for me to know how to eat right? What would it take for me to know how to work out? What would it take for me to know how to meditate? What would it take for me to know who God was? What would it take for me to be able to communicate with my wife and my kids? What would it take for me to leave my business and start a new one? What would it take for me to find a new client? What would it take for me to make more money? Because those are the most empowering words you can say. Stop saying, I don't know. Because language is the key factor in creation. So I want to thank you guys for being on here today. I'm super passionate about this. If you are looking to connect further with a group of like-minded people, join myself and so many others in the Habit-Based Lifestyle Secrets group, where I will be dropping daily habits to help you live to your full potential. If you want to be one of our next case studies and begin living this habit-based lifestyle, feel free to reach out to me, questions, comments, requests, or reviews. Please, if you find value in this today, leave a 5-star review. We love those. I love those. Feel free to contact me if you have any questions. Jesse at habitbasedlifestyle.com. Until next episode, have an awesome day.